That's how I'll torture you. I'll put you in a room, no weed for 24 hours.
Yeah, I used to think when I make more money, I'll probably not want to smoke as much, but
No,
I just
get more. Bro.
Yeah, I
What?
just get
How
more.
was that?
Let's get more weed.
What's the thought process in that?
It's not
Yeah.
making sense.
Let's talk about
means
that.
I can get a
It's like,
oh,
wow.
it's lit.
Oh, it's lit. Wait, I can afford a pound? Great.
See, you started a YouTube channel. Perfect. ASMR content.
Was it
ASMR.
I used to fall asleep to that shit. So, I
Me
mean,
too.
yeah.
For some reason, I was never really into ASMR.
Really?
Especially the ones where like people are really eating. I'm like, what? I
No,
don't
no,
want to
no,
hear
no,
I'm
that.
no.
obsessed with the mukbangs.
I can't
the
do
eating I don't know why.
The monk thing?
Mukbangs, and they be eating a lot of food.
Mukbang?
That's not
Mukbang.
what you call it?
No. It's a
No,
mukbang.
you're probably right. I just never.
He's
yeah,
never
yeah.
heard of it.
It's Korean.
Basically, it's something where you like. It doesn't have to be ASMR, but it could be they have a whole smorgasbord of food, and it could be them talking about something, and they're just eating. The whole idea is talking over eating,
They're
or
talking and then just like consuming.
Yeah,
Just
and you hear all the
consuming-
slop.
Yeah, but some of them do it ASMR version, so they just eat, but they eat at like a fast pace, and it's like a lot of food.
and you hear
You're
like
so
crunchy
funny.
stuff. Like they might have something that like crunches more than something else, and then
Everything's just like deep fried or something. Like
yeah, oh, they might get some chicken, KFC chicken, bite into it.
That. And just,
Yeah,
I always like
Go
the.
on TikTok and look up mukbangs or
mukbang ASMR.
yeah.
I always like the
That's so
iPhone
interesting.
unboxing.
Oh,
What?
iPhone
What's
unboxing.
interesting about
This-
that?
okay, well.
I did unbox the.
Then you hear the plastic sound come off the screen. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. I'm going to bed. We ready.
To everybody who be living it up, it's Johnny Walker,
Lance Prince.
and
Bobbie.
Guys,
welcome to the Winner Table Podcast. Thank you for tuning in again.
what a weekend it's been. What a week. Wow, man. And you were a part of yesterday.
Yes, that was really fun.
That
Can-
was Johnny, you want to
Can you tell us a little bit about like what the experience was like, what you were part of? Because we would like to hear it from a third party.
Yesterday we was at the gym working out and taking videos. Is there more to it?
I mean, I get.
I guess what was your experience in a sense of like
Oh, my experience? I had a great experience. I love working out. I love going to the gym. Yeah.
if you were to tell one of your friends, if you're like, yeah, working with Lance Prince, Johnny Walker.
So basically, I'll give a little more story to it too. So basically, yesterday what we did was we put together a shoot for the clothing brand and what we wanted to do because it's like kind of an athletic clothing brand, fitness as well as lifestyle. We wanted it to be in the gym, so we invited Bobbie and a few other models, male models as well, to come and actually wear the clothing while going through different workouts and just doing that thing. And like she said, grabbing video, grabbing photo, so we can have it, so we can promote essentially.
Yeah, and I guess my question would be still like, what's a way to describe like working with us in that sense, like from a third person perspective?
I feel like working with you guys is always something new and it's a great experience. I love how I get to meet new people every time I work with them.
Word.
And it's very comfortable. It's a comfortable environment because I'm
That's
very
good.
antisocial. So
Interesting.
So we don't
Open
give
it
any
up
P
for
Diddy
them.
vibes. Great.
Interest. Oh yeah. We don't. That's a good thing. We what do you call it? Our goal is usually to make sure that you guys come out with like some sort of a standard that's set. It's like, yeah, this is how we should be treated. This is how it's, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and I think it's also big too because we want it to be like a positive experience and something that can also like you can like Lance was saying, come away feeling like, hey, this was cool, this was fun. Like it wasn't like too serious in a way like, oh my gosh, this was the hardest day, I don't want to do this again. It was like, like you said, it was fun. We like to bring more people together, so like we always try to bring on new models that we can introduce you to, new faces that you guys can meet and just network and have it essentially, I guess, a platform where there's a lot to be done.
Yeah. I was just thinking like, so you talk about how you're interested in singing, and we were just talking about your inspirations. I didn't really hear it too well. What was like a singer that you inspired by?
singers that inspired me. First of all, I love Beyonce. Love her. That's my favorite artist. But singers that inspire me, I would say Janae Aiko, SZA, and Summer Walker. I don't listen to them as much. I be sleeping on them. But when I do, I always feel like writing a song just because of what they write about, the genre they in. I feel like it relates to me a lot and it gets you in that mood.
What's
No, yeah. Shout out to my sister Summer Walker,
what?
Johnny Walker.
Oh.
Summer Walker.
Oh,
Funny
okay.
That one went right over there.
Well, we know who owned you back. All right, that was terrible. That was a terrible joke. That's a terrible joke. Cutting this out of no, but yeah, Washington last name. All right, I don't have to. All right. Either
Washington
way,
last name.
that's fucking.
Get this guy off the pocket.
All right, guys, I'm off. Yeah, I was about to say though. I want to get into the juicy topics about like, what's your opinion on like the female rappers who do booty shaking and like.
I love the female rappers. Oh my God. First, I was a hater at first. I'm not gonna lie. When Megan Thee Stallion first came out, I was in high school. I could not stand her. When the City Girls first came out, I could not stand them. I was like, they rap about the same thing. Until I still can't stand the City Girls. Well, they not together. But until I listen to Megan Thee Stallion, I love me some Megan.
Oh, really?
I love the rap girlies. Ice Spice, Lotto, all of them.
What do you
Nicki Minaj.
But what about
Controversial.
all of like hip hop in general? Do you think it's becoming too sexualized? Like we have also NLE Choppa. We got like. I
feel
just
like
wonder.
Hip hop was always sexualized.
Thank you.
And I feel
Interesting.
like I like it. Ooh.
Go back to LL Cool J and
Hip-hop
what was?
now, I like it better than 90s hip hop. I'm not gonna lie. So
That's a valid point.
But what about like? I guess I'm trying to push a topic right now. I'm trying to start edging this way.
Well, before
right?
you say that, I just want to say,
Oh, you know where I'm going.
I know you're a huge fan of Megan Thee Stallion now. Did Tory do it?
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe Tori did
I
it.
mean some Tory Lanez though. I
yeah,
think he
yes.
did it.
Tory Lanez is fire.
All right, but I'm edging towards like the discussion where people are saying that social media is destroying our kids and like the relationships, and it's so hard for our generation to find good relationships. And then I would say that another part of the conversation is the music that people listen to and how they look up to these role models, but yet these role models are inflecting like these kind of images rather than kind of depicting a work ethic. Or I mean, there's work ethic that's obviously put behind that. We know that, but.
I feel like that's just all on the person, and then people need somebody to blame, so they blame social media.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you're getting influenced by social media, that means your parents are not doing their job.
Thank you.
Because growing up, I used to watch Family Guy, but I never mimicked the stuff I saw in Family Guy.
Agreed.
Because I had a mother in my household.
And you look at things like this where like now it's almost kind of weird because I feel like people are much more sensitive in today's society. When like growing up, Family Guy, South Park, everything was so like it was raunchy comedy, and that was what we resonated with. But it didn't mean that we had to always emulate that. And I go back to the same thing where it's like you say it inspires people to maybe do whatever it is they're getting pushed to do, whatever that is. They always had that same thing with video games. When video games first came, that was who they wanted to demonize because rated M for mature. People wanted to say those games where you get to shoot people and do this is why that person did that, or this is why violence is running rampant. But it's like if you don't have a good foundation or like good parents, then yeah, you don't have anyone to tell you what's right from wrong. So maybe you'll easily be influenced by the wrong thing.
Exactly. Because you could say the same thing about books. Same
Facts.
thing about books. When I read Lord of the Flies, oof,
Oh,
I hated that book. I felt like everybody was savages and scavengers.
Interesting. Well, okay, but is there still something? There's something going on though with this generation in a sense. So what's that? Is it just parenting then? That's the factor, or how people are being raised?
Parenting, how people are being raised. What else? I feel like. What you think is going wrong with this generation?
Because I feel like a part of it is what is being put out there. Because, for example, my image that I depict with my social media, my artistry, and what I'm trying to put out there is obviously not who I am. I'm not here like dating 4 different girls at the same time or none of that stuff.
Let me
Like,
interject on that. Why do you think the image that you want to portray is not necessarily who you are? How come you don't want to dive into what you would want, like who you are authentically as your image? And
I guess
rather
I'm going into what sells. So I guess I'm coming from a perspective like, hey, I'm looking at what's going on, what's selling, and so it's selling to be hot, to be with girls.
sex sells, they say.
Right. So I mean, and look at again the music. NLE Choppa's most recent song that I've been loving. I love pills and Percocet.
Shit's fire.
This is fucking fire. And I mean, but it's And I feel like it desensitizes though, right? It kind of has a desensitizing approach to it, and then now you have everybody having sex with everybody. Why can't nobody have a monogamous relationship? Well, I mean, it's hard to have a monogamous relationship
But
when
I feel like that always been a thing. Now it's probably just showcased more, but I feel like that was always the thing. Like,
So I could say this. We could look at social media and the accessibility of the internet as part of the problem, but we could also look at it like it's a double-edged sword because obviously it gives you much more to, there's so much more accessibility, which is great, much more knowledge at your fingertips. But at the same time, if we're able to actually, put so much more out there, obviously you're going to see more negatives. But at the same time, kind of like Bobbie's saying, that's always been something that's going on. If you look at old hip hop, even like "She's My Cherry Pie," that's rock and roll music, and it's like what was in those music videos. The girl on the car. So it always was something there. It's just now we're able to actually see it more on social media.
it's more in our faces.
So we think it's a problem.
Right, okay.
When it was always human nature. Because the thing that I say is I feel like people forget that human nature is we are sexual beings. So it's kind of natural, but at the
Men
same
and women.
men and women. It's natural, but it's like we almost put ourselves on a high horse where like we have to like talk down on people for being sexual when it's like this is our nature. And the thing is, I do also, me coming from someone that would want to be inside of a healthy, loving, monogamous relationship, marriage, children, and have a strong family. I understand that point, but at the same time, I do understand we all there's attractive people in the world. This is just part of what we live. This is it.
Huh. And what is your opinion on monogamy? I guess both of you. It's like, is that something that's should be more pushed in a sense of like that's? I mean, I know some artists definitely put like J. Cole, like he praises his wife and his kids, and right,
Yeah,
like
I feel like it should be pushed more. Like, why wouldn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, do what you want to do. But I'm a lover girl. I'm meant for one type of person. I feel like I can't do multiple people. I can't do that.
what would be like? And I know this is way too random of a question, but like, what would be the financial gain for that to be the case? Why would they be pushing? Is there, I guess,
Why are they
more?
pushing polyamorous?
Yeah.
Well, what
Where's
I
the
see
money?
in the rap society, it be mostly rappers because they have money, and then a lot of those women they see money, so they're gonna throw themselves at that rapper, no matter who they with, because at the end of the day, they're getting money.
We're getting a
It's all
financial
about
gain.
money.
And another thing too is if we go into this because we had a conversation on one podcast about is success, money, power, and fame something that can, lead you to do wrong things. And to kind of dive into that a little bit more, it's like when you have all this money, sometimes I'll put this on the men. Sometimes what we're going to do is like, why do I just want one girl? You may get bored from just having one girl because look at it like this. I was listening to this podcast and it's like if you, all the things that a woman, a wife would actually provide to you, let's say cook, clean, and not to be any type of way, but cook, clean, take care of the child. Let's say you have all the money in the world. You have a cleaning lady, you have a chef, you have a nanny to take care of your child. So now what are you looking for now inside that woman? So it's like, I'm bored. This girl's boring me. That girl's bad. Let's go take time with this girl.
I see what you mean.
And-
So with more money, you're
And they say it's harder to actually have a healthy relationship the more money you have.
It's not even. It's just that, are you looking for love? If you're looking for love, you should not be complaining. If you're in love with your partner, that's just that. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're in love, you're in love.
All right. Okay. I like that. So here, tell me this, Bobbie. Tell me this, Bobbie. What does love look like for you? What does love look like for you?
I haven't been in love in a while. I don't know, but family-wise, love for me is just like, that feeling that you have for somebody and that you're willing to do anything and everything for them. And same thing, vice versa. And it's like, no matter what, no matter the circumstances, I'm with you and you're with me.
Ride or die.
I love that.
I like that you said vice versa too, because I feel like a lot of people could sacrifice themselves for a love that might not be serving them in the sense that they'll give all of themselves and that person doesn't do the same.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be like true love. If it's just you, that is not true love. It gotta be both parties.
You know what? Let's talk this one. What are some red flags that you should avoid? Let's say you're out there, you're in the dating game, you're trying to find love. What are some red flags you should avoid when trying to find that person?
Me, I'm low-key colorblind too. I can't see
Oh.
red flags. I'm not
Guilty.
gonna lie.
Guilty.
But
I'm gonna take that bar in the song. I'm colorblind to red flags.
I feel like when they're not texting you as much, I'm the type of person, and we're texting, I need you to be real, like, what's the word?
Receptive, responsive.
Yeah, like respond back in a fast manner, productive, have a conversation with me. Like we gotta be able to talk. If we're talking for a little bit and then you go a day without texting me, I don't like that. That's a red flag. I feel like you could go all your life. Unless you tell me, hey, I'm busy this day, but if you just automatically just ghost me, it's just
Without
like,
no
whoa.
communication.
Yeah, lack
Yeah.
of communication.
Communication.
I
Yeah,
don't
if
like
they get
that.
back to you at least within that day, at least, and like, hey, yo,
least
like I've
within
been
the
I've
day.
been like working. I've been like,
So
And
do they
that's
have to get back to you
understandable.
within 5 minutes, or does it?
Like I understand, like after a little bit of time, I'm talking about the whole day. I won't have a problem if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But if you're not texting me for the whole day, you don't send me no update. That's what an issue is.
do you think that
Yeah.
maybe before a girl then falls into feelings for this guy, wouldn't that be their kind of responsibility to kind of like at least get to know them before really building and being boyfriend girlfriend, so that at least when they're busy, you actually have a gist of who they are, what do they do, what jobs, like is that something that you would think is
I'll let Bobbie answer that before I
Yeah,
give
I'm
my
curious.
my
But
side.
the get to know each other part is that's the get to know each other.
Got it.
part.
So
Interesting.
I'll say this too. Fuck all that. Honestly, I think the biggest thing is communication. So it's like even if you guys know each other and this and let's say I'll put it in our shoes, right? Let's say yesterday we were on set mad long. If you're not communicating and updating, it's like, hey, you don't care enough to show that effort. So it's like, yeah, you know what? You can even just send a text. I'm gonna be real busy for 2 to 3 hours. I try to like, you could even say something like, if my phone is getting used for a live, you could text and be like, yo, my phone's about to be used for this live, so I probably won't talk to you for like a minute,
Right.
but I'll talk to you soon. So I think communication is the biggest indicator of like effort and how much you care. Because it's like if you don't really want to communicate that much, then it's like, do you even really care?
You don't like me. You do not like me like that.
Interesting. Now, for relationships in general, do you see yourself getting married in the future? Is that something that's like,
Yes.
but do you think marriage culture is dying?
I do think marriage culture is dying.
Interesting.
I feel like growing up, I realized this about myself because I always know I wanted to have kids. Like I see myself being a mother. I always be talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, I want to have kids. I want to have kids. But I never talk about marriage. I always talk about how much I want to have kids, but I never talk about marriage. And I'm like, why don't I talk about marriage as much as I talk about having kids? I don't know. I see myself being a mother. I see myself having kids, but I just don't talk about marriage as much. It's like, marriage, but kids, yeah, that's for me.
Interesting.
I think marriage is
It's
beautiful.
weird. Like,
Yeah,
I
feel
think marriage is beautiful too. Like the wedding, dressing up, that's beautiful.
Not just that. I'm not talking about the wedding. I'm talking
such
marriage.
a such a
About the
perspective you
I'm
have.
talking-
man.
Getting the dress, the ring.
I'm gonna get the dress. I'm gonna get the honeymoon. It's gonna be in Turks and Caicos. No.
That's the beautiful part.
I'm talking the marriage. But I think the biggest thing about marriage is actually a lot of people choose the wrong person, and I think that's the issue with today because a lot of people are willing to settle or they're colorblind to those red flags. So then when they're in that marriage, everything was all great, the wedding, the honeymoon, but then once they're in that marriage, it's hard to actually keep it because it's like you made the wrong decision.
Yes, and that's another thing, the idea of feel like you're settling. I never want to feel like, I'm just settling down for this person. I feel like, because I feel like marriage, that's like, you're locked in. That's locked in, that governmental official. So I don't want to think I'm just marrying this guy to settle. I want to marry the love of my life, the man I've always been looking for, the man of my dreams.
Do you think it's a common theme for girls to throw away a guy who is probably pretty steady
Yes.
and you like see friends?
I mean, I don't think it's, I don't see it as them being thrown away, because I feel like there's a reason. Like, there's a reason they're not together. That guy, he could be the best person in the world. He could be real great. But there's a reason you don't sense that connection with him. Like, me personally, there's like a lot of people who's like really cool and who I feel like could be something great for me. But if I don't hear the angels singing or I don't feel like we click
The
that
chemistry
way,
ain't really there.
yeah, like there's a reason I'm saying that. So I will throw a good man away.
I would say this: you could also communicate that too. Just to go back to communication is key. It's like if you are tired and you're being a little like funky, like, oh, I'm sorry, I freaked out about that. I was real tired. Because then
I did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like because everybody has toxic traits. Like everybody got toxic traits. It just depends on how you act on it and how you affect the next person.
Not to put you on the spot, Bobbie, but what are your toxic traits?
Except for me, I feel like I don't have
Except for
toxic
Bobbie.
traits.
She's perfect.
My only no.
You got one.
You know one.
I'm gonna say what other people say, but I don't think that's true. People will call me selfish, but I'm not selfish. I just put myself first.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like exactly.
You know
so
what
I don't
they
think
say?
That's a toxic trait.
If the plane's going down, put your mask on first.
People say I'm manipulative. I'm not manipulative. It's just
Well, you're a Scorpio.
no. It's just that sometimes in a situation, I could see what the person is really thinking, but they don't want to say that. So I'll just get it out of them. They just think I manipulated them for them to think what I want them to think. But no, I could see we're on the same page. They just don't want to say that. So I get it out of them.
Interesting.
Manipulation could be used for good. I think people forget that. Sometimes you have to manipulate.
Manipulating people. I'm trying to. I'm really trying to think.
I'll try to think of some.
A toxic trait I have. I just feel like I fall too easily, and I get attached real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's valid. That
I'm
is
a
very
little
valid.
delusional. And sometimes I have the mindset, it's like, if I like you and you don't like me, I don't care because I like you. So no matter what, we gonna be together.
He's just like he's like in a whole nother relationship. You're like, no, that's my man. You're like, no, that's my man. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like he's got a whole wife though. It's like, no, it's
Why,
okay.
that's
It's gonna
my
work
man.
out. It's like, no, that's my man.
That's the mentality right there. Damn, yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is the life we live. The relationships. I think having a relationship with a female is definitely very, or male and a female. It's like, it's very yin and yang. It's kind of required in a sense. It's like having those relationships in your life. People to communicate with. Sometimes I don't always want to hit up my guy friends because it's like, you know, I already expect more of a masculine approach to the answers. So then a feminine approach is always like calming, if anything.
Yeah, I haven't been in a relationship in so long.
When was your last relationship?
Real relationship in high school.
Oh wow. Okay, so you know what? That brings me to another question I have. As a female, do you think it would be hard or like tough to date someone that is, let's say, famous rapper, famous ball player, someone that is like on like they have so much to do and this, that, and the third. Can you date famous male?
The thing is, me, I feel like I can, but a lot of these famous males cheat. So it's just like, that's just the only thing is cheating, the cheating scandal. I've never been, well, to my knowledge, I've never been cheated on. So I don't think I could handle being cheated on. So I feel like if I was to date a famous person and they cheated on me, that would be out in the tabloids.
It feels
for
terrible.
Everybody to know.
Being cheated on feels terrible.
So I watch a lot of movies, a lot of shows. So
Yeah, it's a sucky feeling.
and like what you said, I feel like with guys, the more money they make, they start money and attention. They start lacking some sense, and they just gonna do anything and everything. And
Do you think all artists become that, or there's some that you would say that?
I'm trying to think of some that are not like that. Maybe there are some.
It's harder to
I
find.
don't know exactly.
It's an anomaly, I guess.
Like, cause I understand. If you look good, you're gonna get people's attention. Cause you look good. That's not your fault. I understand that. It's just that how you act on it. Like, I don't. I don't know, man. I see too much rappers and famous people cheating on their girlfriends or their wives. So
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I feel like though, it depends on if you want to stick to your morals or not at a certain rate. So, like me personally, I feel like I would be one to Kobe it, right? Like Kobe was pretty loyal. It seemed he would go to the clubs and all people would try to
Someone
talk to
want
him.
to fact check that?
Yeah, that was a real story.
Right?
There was a real
Like-
story. There was a real story. He'd
What
be going,
about no? What about the whole song?
Totally.
She was about to sue him for 150 M's. Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Come on.
oh no, yeah, there was a whole accusation.
Come on,
wasn't
don't play
there?
around.
like, I don't. Mm-mm.
So he
Kobe, my
did.
nigga, hated had to be him.
Guys, my world is ruined.
It's
So, yeah, I feel
crumbling
like-
now.
It's all. I don't want to be famous. No more.
So Lance, as a male perspective, can you date a famous woman?
I mean, I don't know what. It depends on who the woman is. I would hope that they would have
Let's say
some
you
sort of
guys-
monogamous.
You guys align, but like
Okay.
she's getting a lot of attention.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna paint this picture for you. She gets a lot of attention. Obviously she's very busy as well. Like she still loves you and everything, but like, do you think that's something that'll be hard for you to handle, or do you feel like it's like something possible?
Damn, I don't know. I feel like I would be. I mean, actually, it depends on my status too. Because where's my status at that point? That's a good question. Because if I have a higher status, I have a higher ground to stand on and with confidence in a sense too.
Yeah, I
You know
wanted
what I'm
to add on to that. I feel like it's different for men because they're not going to be worrying about the cheating scandals. They're going to be worried about, hey, this woman, she's making more money than me. She has a higher status than me. So I feel like that is going to dictate how you feel.
Right. And I guess in a sense too, like if I had a higher status than the men hitting her up, then I wouldn't care, right? Like that's where I'd be at. Because, I mean, it's funny. We heard that story yesterday about that one woman who was a writer for like songs and stuff.
Yeah.
And she like worked her way up. She first dated an artist, and then eventually she married the president of Warner Chapel.
Well, you're
Entertainment.
telling it a little wrong. I think at first she set her own, like she had her own foundation that
Right.
she did, and then she had another fellow artist that she married, and then they broke up, and then she was already where she was, and then she married another successful person.
So it's like, oh, well, if she could go higher status, well, shit. So that's where I'd be coming from. I'd be like, well, it depends on that type of a situation. How do I feel when I'm up there too?
Yeah, because I feel like it's different with men and women. I feel like a woman who's dating a rapper, like society will look at it as, oh, she getting tricked on, she's doing this, that, and the third, she's living her life. If a man do it, it's gonna be like, oh, this bum, he got nothing going on for himself. Why is this woman spending time with this low grade man and not with another celebrity?
So let's get a little red pill on the podcast. Do you guys believe the whole thing about like men and women definitely value different things? Like a guy, like I heard, like obviously they say stuff like a guy doesn't really care about the woman's job. So like he'll date a beautiful woman that works at McDonald's and then he'll take care of her, take her out of there and be very happy for that. But a woman necessarily wouldn't do the same. And a woman's going to care more about that man's future, and a man cares more about the woman's past.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty real, bro.
I feel like
That's the only
this
shit I stay.
society, well, this generation now, what I see in the media, women date for financial gain. They date for money. Men date for if you look good. Not even date.
Boom.
If men think you look good, they're gonna go for it.
Well, I feel like a good man would be looking for a supportive woman, right?
A good man is looking for if you look good and if you're not a hoe.
That's why I say that men these days care about her past.
Yeah, you look good and you have a great past, a valid past.
Like she wasn't constantly
Something that can't
letting.
embarrass you.
Yes. Public. I was watching this video the other day where basically there was this guy talking about this girl on Instagram that posted a photo with Chris Brown, her at the 11/11 tour, and she just had got married. So like the whole page had her like wedding photos, this and that. And the whole video was about how she publicly embarrassed her husband because she was talking a lot about how she loves Chris Brown. She posted a photo that was very like they were gazing into their eyes, and she was dressed in booty shorts, this, that, and the third.
That's so weird to me. Like, that is so weird to me because at the end of the day, do you really think she gonna go around and sleep with Chris Brown? It's Chris Brown. Like, Chris Brown is probably somebody she look up to, her favorite artist, her favorite rapper / singer, dancer. Like, at the end of the day, she's married. She never said she was gonna sleep with the man. Like, she can't appreciate her meeting her favorite celebrity. Because I was in a similar situation. It was one time I went out, Sway Lee, he had this birthday celebration somewhere in New York. Then I went to an after party. Once I walked in, I saw A Boogie with a hoodie. I love me some A Boogie. Growing up, what? When I was in high school, when I first moved to Jersey, that's all I listened to. I was listening to straight A Boogie because I had no friends. Had my headphones in, A Boogie, A Boogie, A Boogie. So when I saw him, of course I'm excited. I'm asking for a video. I'm asking for a picture. I'm like, ha, ha, hey, hey. I'm talking about it. I got people on Instagram calling me a groupie because I was excited to see A Boogie. And I'm like, what? But if I saw a female rapper, it would have been different. Or if a man sees NBA Youngboy, they're not going to call him a groupie. They're not going to be like, oh, my God, you da-da-da. Like, I'm confused. I'm like, why is that? Like,
Well,
once females see their favorite male artist, all of a sudden they're doing too much. They're a groupie or they have this title on them.
well, because you know what I think it is? I think, I'm going to talk about something that you said a little bit earlier. You said one of your toxic traits is you could be delusional. So I think what men fear, here's the thing. Let's say A Boogie with the hoodie was like, oh, wow, you're super bad. Are you trying to smash? Would you say that A Boogie, like you turn him down? Like, no, I'm just a fan of your music.
I'm just a fan of your music.
If it's really
I'm not trying to smash.
If it's really just a fan of the music, then okay, maybe that could be
But
communicated.
a lot of girls want their babies.
Well, they're babies.
Yeah, think about it. It's easy.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like the girls who want to smash are the girls who's dating for a financial gain.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they want their babies, like,
for that
that's,
financial gain. I'm not, if I was dating somebody, like, I'm not looking for no financial gain. Like, literally, you're my favorite artist. And it was just that. Same thing with that girl and Chris Brown. That's probably her favorite artist.
The other thing is, to add a little more context to it, one of the things she put into her vow was today's the special day that I give up on my dreams of Chris Brown. And
she did too much.
Nah, she was embarrassing this nigga. That was the thing. Like, it was mad.
I'm trying to defend you. You did a lot.
No, she definitely did a lot. And because I think there's a difference between like a fan girl where you're like a fan of a music and a fan girl. Like,
yeah.
It is
Some girls be
uncomfortable
bugging, I'm
sometimes
not
when it's
gonna
like,
lie.
and that's me coming as like a secure male. Like, okay, yes, I understand. Maybe you'll never be able to ever reach that guy or whatever it is. But if you're bad, niggas be sliding into DMs. 1, 2, I see myself as someone that will have that status as well. So don't disrespect me as trying to like fangirl over this nigga that's about to be my peer soon.
Yeah.
That's how I see it though.
That vow thing was weird because it's given that if Chris Brown gave her the chance, she'll fall for it.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing. That's the thing that I think some people are afraid of, because it's like there's a lot of guys with status that can kind of just do whatever they like. And then if you really don't have a down chick, it's like, yeah, she'll probably fall to that. She'll fold.
Yeah.
It's about the girl you choose to date. You know when a girl is just after money. So don't be mad when she sees somebody with more money. Because trust and believe, it's obvious when a girl is dating you for money. It's obvious when somebody is dating for money and when somebody is dating for love. So I could never be like, oh my God, I feel so bad for the man. You knew who you was dating. At the end of the day, you knew who you was dating. So like that debate with the Cheesecake Factory, would you go on your first date to the Cheesecake Factory? If there's a girl telling you, oh, don't take me to the Cheesecake Factory for my first date, take me to this steakhouse, spend this amount of money on me, she's not dating you for love. She barely like you.
She's spoiled, bro. And I always say this, Cheesecake Factory is expensive. So I'm taking you to Cheesecake Factory. You know they up the prices. That shit expensive. So you But the other thing too, I think if we're talking dating, I think something important about dating is for those first dates, I think it's better to actually not put too much effort into the date. The first date should be more of a like frozen yogurt, something small, maybe meeting at like something small where it's like you don't have to put so much investment so that you could see if the investment is gonna be worth it.
I feel like that, yeah.
So like I tell people too, I'm like, yo, if you, because I know a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that are on the dating apps and they're doing these dates. I'm like, bro, keep it light. Frozen yogurt, 15 minutes. If you hit it off with the chick, boom, move to the next location, keep going. But having it so that you don't have that like, if you plan this whole steakhouse night, boom, 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 and then it's kind of funky. The vibes ain't there. You're like,
Y'all
damn.
even work. I was like, damn, you
Nah,
wasted all that money. Because I think about it as if I was the man. Would I look like spending this amount of money and I'm just meeting you? No. And I also have an older brother, so I hope he's not doing that. Like,
hope
like
you're not doing that.
just met the person and you spending this amount of money. You don't know who she is. I don't care who she thinks she is. You don't know who she is. So, and even when I go on a first date, I know how I am. So I don't like when men spend a lot of money on me because I feel like they expect something. And it's just like, if I don't like you, and I be feeling bad, like, if no, because you're
crazy.
never going to see me again. So it's like, it's no point.
I tell Johnny that I get nervous on the first days because I get nervous that the girl's expecting sex.
Expecting
What do you mean
sex.
by that?
It
Interesting,
depends.
right? You know what I'm saying? Like, flip it around, like
You're
it's
more
actually.
worried. Wow, this girl wants me to have sex with her.
No, because think
Holy
about it. Think
shit.
about it. In my head, I'm looking for a relationship, so that's my red flag if a girl just wants to have sex.
I
on,
get
you know
that.
What I'm saying?
I feel like that's something. I feel like that's something y'all should talk about before y'all even leave the house. Because here's my thing.
See what the vibe is.
When it comes to men, I feel like men and women, don't be scared to say, oh, I just want to do this or I just want to do that. Like, if you just want sex, say that. If a girl don't want sex, she's going to be like, no, that's just that. But don't
Makes your life
add
easier.
on lies, take her out on dates just for sex. I had this one situation where I met this boy. I thought he was real cute, but I did not want a relationship with him. I just wanted to sleep with him. I'm not going to lie. But he
Keeping it
kept
real.
texting me. He was texting me a lot. He was asking to take me out for ice cream, blowing up my phone. And I'm like, wait, he's kind of cool. So when we finally linked and then he gave off the vibe, he was just trying to sleep with me. I didn't want to sleep with him anymore because you're a liar.
Oh.
If you didn't lie.
You could have just kept it straight. He's
If
like,
you didn't lie,
hey, you trying to get right to business?
She's living the
exactly.
tea
It
right
would
now,
have just
yo.
been like
This
that.
is-
But you doing the most just to get in my pants, and you're not getting in my pants anymore. Like,
You
no.
don't gotta manipulate anybody. See, that's what
Right.
manipulation is wrong. When you're trying to manipulate people for your own gain.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
just look at my
if
girl,
you
I'm like-
just want to say that.
So, I mean, talking about that, where you're saying a girl like wanted to have sex on a first date or this or that. What's your opinion on, sometimes you have this where a girl will have sex with a guy on the first date, but then she finds a guy that she really likes, and then she holds out on sex with that guy, but then she lets
Yes,
everyone
like-
else in on the first date. That nigga looked like a clown now.
No, because no, because at the end of the day, if I really like you, do you really like me? Like, are you mad because I didn't have sex with you? I thought you liked me. Like, I'm giving you the ability to get to know me more. I'm giving you, like, you get to see me now. We get to talk. Like, you just wanted to have sex. I thought you liked me.
Well, let's say the guy didn't just want to have sex. He likes you and he wants to get to know you, but then he finds out all these other guys had access to you right off the bat.
But they don't have access to me anymore. Like, we don't talk. We don't have that same connection. All we did was have sex.
That's funny. Yeah.
We just
I feel
sweat
like
together. Like, that was it. That's
feel-
all
You
we
just
did.
play basketball.
But you, we're having full-on conversations, deep talks. Like, it's going to be more. And then when we do have sex, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be making love.
I feel like I flipped the card on girls because most of my previous exes would be like more thrown off that I wasn't even close
You
to
weren't looking
angling
for
that
it.
direction.
Because I'm the same way. If I just want to sleep with you, I'm just going to sleep with you. But if I really like you, you're going to have to wait because I got to get to know you. And I'm scared. Like, ugh.
Yeah. I had one girl once ask me, she was
You
like,
make me nervous.
she was like, are we ever gonna talk about maybe like having sex or something like that? It was like a really just cute. We were young. It was younger times.
Really?
She was just like, are we ever gonna like talk about it? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great time.
Well, when you're young, I feel like it's different. When you're young, you're always just, I feel like that's like the first thing on your mind. Like, you're young and you're just like, all right, I'm young. Let's just get to it.
No, I mean not for me. For me, it was for some reason like again like just keep it. I just wanted to have a companion.
Yeah, that's some real gentleman stuff. That's when, oh my God, that's how I felt with my soulmate I met because he never brought up the topic of sex with me. And I thought it was weird. I'm like, do you not like me? And I had to, and we were talking for a while and I had to bring it up. I'm like, damn, why you didn't try anything? And I feel like that's why I liked him so much because I never met a guy who who never brought up the topic of sex, like who never even tried to kiss me the first wink. Like he didn't try to do none of that
Well,
until
was he possibly
I
castrated?
said something.
No, I'm joking.
No, my first no, not my first. This relationship I'm in is the first time I met her. I didn't have sex with her for the first 2 months. Like it was like something we discussed at like the first week, 2 weeks of the kind of like being a thing or something. I was like, yeah, let's hold it off until it feels right. You know what I'm saying? Like let's get to know each other first.
So, and you
That's beautiful, dog.
you think you special. Y'all wait together. I think we waited like 6 months. And then
Wow.
we finally did it. And then
Wow,
things
that's a
was-
long
You know what I
wait.
like?
Yes,
I like how
that's why I
every
said he was my
relationship
soulmate. Like things
that-
was cool.
I know, like the relationship where I feel like that person was my soulmate. We waited 9 months till we first had
Really?
sex.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting that
is
that's the
interesting that
case here.
It's like that waiting thing
Like
where
we
it's like
waited.
but-
it means something. It means more.
So I
Damn.
thought it meant something. And
Right, yeah. Like it's
Yeah,
I
like
got
weird.
shitted on at the end.
It's weird how that works. Is maybe like because Johnny don't act all special in a sense too. Like there's a
I'm just
similarity.
saying,
Yeah.
no, I'm saying where I thought that person was. You know,
Yeah, it's
the
weird.
waiting thing, but it's like
It's similar though, all across the board. Then, like in that sense, we're all kind of like we thought, and like that would make
so you're
sense.
saying if you have sex faster.
Yeah,
that's
let's
more
just
of a
do it on the
possibility.
first night. Just
First night, but let's
No,
Then
the
I
moment you
started
meet.
to think that it was no point of waiting because I waited with this dude and then I ended up getting my feelings hurt at the end. Granted, did he do anything? He didn't do anything.
What was it that made him hurt your feelings?
I was in college, so I went back to Jersey. I was upstate New York, and I went back to Jersey. And then the long distance thing was not working, and I just felt like he was just so mean. He was just so mean and would just say mean things to me. Like, he got mad at me. He wished cancer on me. Like, who does
Okay,
that?
no, that sounds like that's not your soulmate. That sounds like a toxic ass
Yeah,
motherfucker.
that
yo.
sounds terrible.
I'm
No,
sorry.
but that's not soulmate. Not too much.
Hey,
I don't know about.
This is the
that.
Winter Table podcast.
He got way.
Wait, what are we at? We're 5 minutes left. Okay. Wow, this
Yeah,
is
we
beautiful.
talked about relationships this whole podcast.
I mean,
I mean,
feel
this
like
is-
it
this
was
is
beautiful
beautiful.
to have actually a woman on the podcast where we could talk about relationships.
Yeah, I think this was a very productive day already at this rate and productive conversation with Bobbie. We really appreciate
I just
this.
want to ask you this, Bobbie. Can you like tell the viewers something you do to stay positive in times of like you may feel low or like not optimistic?
What I do to stay positive, I look in the mirror. Okay, I'm sorry.
Damn. She's like, oh wait, I'm still bad. All right, we good.
What I do to stay positive is just I remind myself everything I have in this life. Like I remind myself I still have my 2 parents who love me, my sisters, my brothers. And I just remind myself don't take anything for granted. And I remember the state of this world right now. Like there's people who don't really have much and it's just like, damn, I can't really complain a lot. Like I have to stay up and keep grinding because at the end of the day, I know I'm destined for more. I'm destined for greatness. I just keep trying to push myself and better myself. And if that don't work, I just call my father, vent to him, and have him give me advice.
And that's what
I
the
love
Winter
that.
Table is all about. This is, I mean, pushing yourself. I love that.
Remaining strong in those times of need.
I love that.
Is there any advice that you would give to a younger self, like your younger self?
Yes, I'm not. Oh, Bobbie. Yes. What would I tell you? Stay positive. Stop talking to yourself outside. People think you crazy.
Oh, yeah. People would think I'm crazy when I'm walking with my headphones in.
There's
and I'm
some-
just singing and shit, writing raps, and they're like, "That guy's insane."
There's
isn't he?"
some kid in my college just walks around the hallways like talking to himself, just like dump it up, and then sometimes he's trying to say something to you, and you just don't know the difference.
That's his best friend. So that's a
Yeah.
good relationship he has with himself.
Yeah.
That's his.
He's
real
like,
nigga right
"Excuse
there."
me, do you know where to blah blah blah?" And you're just like, "I'm not sure if that was him just probably talking to himself." He has a full conversation, just back and forth. That's yeah. Don't talk to yourself,
Sounds
guys.
like loneliness. No, talking to yourself is fine. I think actually there's
Talking to yourself is perfect.
Yes,
fine.
there's
out loud in public. It's kind of crazy.
there's a certain level of like it depends on where like how your reality is because obviously I think if you could talk to yourself it's actually healthier than those people that don't because it lets you know like
Exactly.
you know you're able to talk through things by yourself. That means you have a healthier relationship with yourself and you have like the mental capacity to just be alone.
Yeah. The Winter Table podcast.
That's how you get through the real stuff.
Real shit. Johnny Walker.
Bobbie.
Lance Prince.
Thank you
Like, comment, subscribe.
Thank you for watching the Winner Table Podcast.
We love you guys. Big dubs.
W.
Thank you. That was fun.
That was valid.